Hello everyone, it's RichestGuyinEso here with a new video regarding bombing in ESO. As the Whitestrake's Mayhem event starts today, I want to show with what build I will play during this event, trying to get huge bombs and earn a lot of alliance points and Telva stones. I will start off with a build with champion points and will show later an alternative build for no CP bombing. So let's start off with the gear. We are running 5 pieces of Vicious Death as the classic bomber set, and in my classic melee build it's too important not to use it. This set makes players explode for damage around them, killing other players next to them as a chain reaction. So I'm running 2 swords with Nirnhorn trait on both, granting some extra spell damage. And on the jewelry, I'm running infused trait with spell damage and chance. And I'm running swords for the extra spell damage. Axes are fine alternative too. Daggers are okay as well. I would not recommend maces though for this build. This is because we are running Bulwark as monster set, granting us up to 11,500 penetration if we have full 500 ultimate, leading to an over-penetration on a good bunch of enemy players, so I rather invest in more general spell damage. The last set we are running is called War Maiden, and this one grants us 600 spell damage on our magic damage abilities, and as we're only running that kind of damage, it's the perfect set to maximize our damage. Other set options are, for example, Plug Break, which is a nice set to do some even bigger bomb once you kill an enemy being affected with the Plug Break effect. From my experience, Vicious Death is often enough to kill everything around you though. On my back bar, I'm running Seducer just for some extra magical recovery. You're free to run whichever weapon you like the most here. Restoration stuff might be a bit better for back bar healing though. All armor traits I'm running is in Divine trait with max Magica Glyph for maximum damage. I'm running 6 pieces in light armor and a single item in medium armor. You can run like 5 lights or 2 medium too, or just mix them how you want them. So looking on our character sheet, we have decent stats. Many buffs though, from for example War Maiden, are not shown on this sheet though. I'm running the Shadow Mundus Stone for extra critical damage on my critical strikes to make people which are critted on a higher chance on dying and simply exploding. As suit, I'm using Ghastly Elbow, which I'll show you here. Is a nice food to give you extra magicka and as well a huge chunk of magicka recovery. I just like it a lot as it's like doing both. If you don't need that extra recovery, you can run some like blue 150 CP food, giving you health and magicka. You should as well, when you're bombing, be in Vampire Stage 2. I'm not that now, but you should be. Because then you get some extra spell damage, and I'll show you this in the skills section. So it's about the strike from the shadows passive while you're at vampire stage 2 or higher. When you leave sneak or invisibility, you get 300 extra spell damage. So checking on the skills we're running on our bars, we start off with Merciless Resolve. And Merciless Resolve is most important for the Hemorrhage passive here, which grants us additional 10% critical damage with an assassination ability slotted. But it as well grants us some spell damage if we did some light attacks before, so it's just a generally nice skill to keep on your front bar. Next, we are running Mage Light, like Inner Light morph, which is important to give us simply some extra magicka, 5% here, plus another 2% from the Mage's Guild skill line magicka controller. The third ability we have is Camo Hunter. This one is important for giving us minor berserk once we hit the bomb, and as well increasing our spell damage by 3%. This is the Slayer passive. Our fourth skill is Concealed Weapon. And Concealed Weapon is important because it's granting us Major Berserk once we hit the bomb, which is a huge damage buff, and we needed to proc it on our front bar. The last skill is Sap Essence, and Sap Essence we simply need as AoE spammable for damage, and it as well grants us Major Sorcery, and thereby increasing our spell damage by another 20%. Our ultimate ability is Soul Tether, which is doing a great chunk of AoE damage and is most important part of our damage combination with proximity detonation, which I'll show you now on the back bar. And this one is a skill, is a key skill for every bomber build, which does increased damage the more people are stacked on top of each other. Channel Acceleration is the next skill on our back bar, which we simply need for better movement speed and the minor force buff, giving us additional damage on our crits. I also used Shrewd Offering to heal myself in emergency scenarios. It's just a general good skill to have if you really need it. Shadowy Disguise is our invisibility skill, which is very important to get into a bomb and get out of it again. And getting out works even better though with the Shadow Image skill, which can teleport us back to the position we placed the shade, and it makes us survive a situation once we bombed a group of players. This skill is really important in Imperial City to keep your Telva Stones together after you bombed a group of players. Barrier's ultimate is simply here just for the passive Magicka region, as you can see here in Alliance War. For the Magicka 8 passive, granting us 10% more Magicka regeneration. So it's just not used, but really nice to have some extra Magicka gene. As race, we are running Khajiit. It's just granting us some regen, some stats, and most importantly, some extra critical damage. You can run like a bunch of other races too, though it doesn't matter that much. As potion, I run the Essence of Immovability, which is important to use before we jump into a bomb, so we can't get CC'd in between, and so we can get our full skill combination off and do the whole bomb. Lastly for this build, let's go into the champion points. The blue tree is the most important one for them. I'm running Biting Aura for more AoE damage. I'm as well running Wrathful Strikes for generally more spell damage. Next is Fighting Finesse for more critical damage, and Master at Arms for more damage on direct attacks. As we only run AoE and direct damage abilities, these passive fit our build perfectly, but you could replace Wrathful Strikes with Backstabber 2. As we don't run status effects, the Occult Overload is not an option for this build. On the red tree, we run Boundless Vitality for some more health. We run Bastion, which is important to do some more damage on shielded enemies. We run Celerity for some more movement speed, and Regeneration for some extra recovery. The green tree is actually not important for this build. So I'll show you some gameplay footage at the end of the video. Now I quickly go over a no CP build, which is really nice for this event too, as you can still bomb people in no CP campaigns even without Vicious Death. You know, it's unusual, as many people think you need Vicious Death to like actually bomb, which simply doesn't work in no CP campaigns, and therefore don't look out for being bombed. Anyhow, I'll show you that it works too. As no CP people have actually less health and resistances too, so the only issue is that you will not get the nice chain reactions on bombs. So I quickly changed the gear with the Dressing Room add-on, and now I'm still running the 5 pieces of War Maiden. Then I'm running 5 pieces of Mother's Sorrow on our front bar. This is just a generally nice set because it As we don't have Balrog anymore, I'm trying to compensate this with the maces here, granting us some penetration. And the Mother Sorrow is just good for the general crit chance. And no CP, you don't have a lot of crit, and so just doing a lot of damage with that. I'm running Nirnhound maces as set, and these give me some spell damage as well due to the Nirnhound. And it's simply better as combination than running swords with sharpened trade. As last two pieces, a bit creative, I'm running one piece of Slime Core, giving us some extra critical chance. This one is kind of nice because it's giving more critical chance than you would get as a normal set piece bonus. You can see that Mother Sorrow is giving 657 as a critical chance buff, and Slime Core is giving 771. It's quite unique. The same is actually with the Mythic rerun, Velothi Urmage Amulet. It's granting 1650 offensive penetration. The other part of the buff is actually not useful or needed for this build. And this penetration gives more than a normal penetration buff we would see, for example, if we are running Vicious Death on the 5-piece. So that's for the gear. You could as well, instead of running the Velothi Mage and the Slime Crawler, you could run 2 Willpower for maximum Magicka or the Trainee for half a Magicka, as you like. So that's it from the build. Here's now quick footage from last Mayhem event. So I buff up with acceleration and see that there's a big lot of people stacked on the flag. So I come nearer, place Shade, and then I use Detonation in a position where they don't see me using it. Then I move into the blob of people in Sneak. Then I use Soul Tether shortly before the detonation blows off, and after I killed a lot, I try to escape. Sadly, they killed me there, but that happens. So that's it from me today. If you liked the video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Thank you, and see you in Tamriel.